Now, on to the final topic that we got talking about today. Just so you guys know, this is going to be a spoiler-filled section, so if you don't want to hear any spoilers for episode 2 of What If, you're more than welcome to, leave now. But we are going to be going into talking about episode 2 of What If with spoilers. So, Craig, you got to watch the episode. What'd you think about it?
Now, you will remember I said that episode 1 of What If was not it for me. I was not into it. It felt like a retread of Captain America: The First Avenger with little, very slight changes. It just seemed like, hey, cut out Cap and put in Peggy. And I love the Peggy Carter aspect of it. I just didn't think the story itself was very different. I felt like it was kind of just cut and paste. Now, episode 2, I was worried. I'm like, is it all going to be like this? I will say this: if the rest of the show is like episode 2, then I am all the way in, because this was an amazing episode. First off, you have the emotional element. This was Chadwick Boseman's final performance, vocal performance, but final performance as T'Challa. It was completely different. It was so different. It was like so new and fresh. You got Thanos on their team. He's a reformed guy working with them. Avengers are like good guys from since T'Challa has joined the team. He still kept that special thing about him, but they changed the entire story around it. It did have little elements of the first Guardians movie, but basically, in terms of comparing to the first episode, this was a complete deviation, and this is what I was hoping What If actually was gonna be. So I am 100% in if the rest of the show is like this. Howard the Duck coming back. I mean, I need to see this guy. I heard that they were making a show. I don't know if they're still doing that, but I need a live action Howard the Duck, Rocket Raccoon film.
Yeah, I loved the first episode. You remember that? I also remember that they said they were going to start the show with one of their weaker episodes just so they don't end the show with it. And I think that was pretty accurate, because this episode was awesome. I think they fully delved into what it means to have a whole what if split universe. T'Challa getting picked up by the Ravagers, taking all the bringing goodness into the Ravagers, becoming more like Robin Hood type characters instead of just straight up pirates, and then going so far as to even get Thanos to switch sides and Nebula to switch sides, back and forth. And I don't know, I think overall it was a fantastic episode. I like to see the characters, the writers I should say, exploring their own. It feels like they're just like, here, go have fun with it. And that's what it seemed like. They delved into such a whole. I loved what they did with the Collector. Instead of going from
the Black Order working with the Collector.
Yeah,
that was great.
Instead of being like this dweeby kind of nerdy collector type of guy, he was into like a straight up mob boss type of guy who could hold his own.
Right.
I thought it was an absolutely incredible episode. I loved what they did with Howard the Duck. I hope to see that they bring him back. I mean, was that actually Micah Rooker who played the? That was him.
Yeah, that was him. Yeah.
Yeah, his voice sounded a little different, but I'm a big fan of his. Actually, huge fan. I first got a little bit of a taste of him in The Walking Dead, and I've been such a fan of him ever since. So I'm glad to see him back. And I mean, they had everybody. It was so awesome. It was such an incredible experience. And to know that it doesn't directly affect main MCU canon, but still gives us the opportunity that it might, as well as we get to explore what could have been, is so awesome to see. I'm having so much fun with the show, and I can't wait to see what they going forward.
Yeah, and in my head, honestly, I know Feige hasn't confirmed this yet, but the writer of the show, or the director of the show, one of them, did that this is canon within the Marvel multiverse.
Yes.
So in my head, I'm taking this as, hey, within the Marvel MCU, there's a multiverse, and this T'Challa as a Ravager is something that happened. It probably won't affect our main timeline canon, but it is something that happened within the Marvel multiverse. And if I'm being honest, if I would watch, I would watch a live action version of this episode.
Yeah, honestly, how sick would it?
Yeah, obviously you can't do that with the unfortunate passing of Chadwick, but in terms of like maybe you combined a couple stories, I would think, well, maybe this is what they are doing in Doctor Strange 2, showing us little glimpses like this. But I'm thinking, hey, maybe you take some of the best stories of What If, combine the best stories, and make a movie out of that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, let me see Thanos as a good guy working with the good guys. You know, like give me a I would watch an entire just multiverse movie that doesn't even affect the main canon. I think that would be fun.
Yeah, I mean, even if it was just like you took a couple characters from each of the episodes and just put them into like glimpses of them in the Multiverse of Madness, like imagine seeing good and bad Thanos on the screen. Like that would be super powerful. Or it's good Thanos, but none of the actual characters from the main canon universe don't trust him at all because it's Thanos. Right. So that like there's such amazing interactions that could actually happen. Are we going to see it? I'm not sure. Is it possible? Yes. Is it likely? I don't think so. But the actual thought of it is what keeps me coming back. And
I wouldn't say it's not likely.
I mean, I mean, are they going to make a whole movie out of it? I don't think so. No. Will we see glimpses of it? Maybe. But
I think that, yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, they went as far as Black Panther T'Challa becoming Star-Lord. If like, who knows how far they could even go? You know, there's so many possibilities of what could actually happen. I'm so excited to see what next week brings. This I thought it was a good show last week, and I was gonna watch it more again. But I'm actually anticipating next Wednesday, Wednesday, when they actually bring out the next episode. And that's the first time I'm doing this with the Disney Plus Marvel show, where I'm actually anticipating the next episode because it's so good. Like WandaVision, I watched the first 3 episodes as they're released, and then I just binged it at the end. Well, I mean, not towards the end. Like I waited a couple weeks and I watched the next couple episodes, and I watched the finale when that released. But like, this is the first one where I'm watching on a weekly basis because I actually think it is such an incredible show.
And I was the opposite way. I was literally, I'd wake up at like 5, 6 in the morning on Wednesdays and then Fridays, and like WandaVision right away, Falcon and Winter Soldier right away, Loki right away, because first off, spoilers were all over the place. But I was so, especially with WandaVision, I was so indulged in that show, which I think is their best. I still think is their best Disney Plus show, Marvel show. I think it's second in all of Disney Plus to Mandalorian. It might be, I don't know, actually. It might be tied.
I don't know. In my opinion, I think WandaVision's ending was weak. I think it was a little bit of a weak ending, which kind of ruined the show for me.
The ending didn't ruin the show for me. I think the ending was built up in our own heads by our own speculation.
Yeah, 100%.
That's not really on them. They made a good story. It was us who blew it out of proportion.
Sure.
The ending didn't really ruin anything for me. It could have been a little stronger, sure, but it didn't ruin anything for me. But honestly, with What If, I watched this episode a couple days later because of the first one. But after watching the second episode, I'm like, now I am going to watch it as soon as it comes out every single day. And I do think, honestly, I'll say this on the record, I don't think they're going to make a movie. I think it would be a good, cool idea to match these What If storylines. But I do think in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, we're going to see iterations of Iron Man. I do think, I'm guessing, but like for some reason I have a feeling that Captain Carter is going to be something, and I do think we might get a glimpse of her. And you just gave me a great idea. How do you show the viewer that the multiverse is some vastly different thing? You give us a good guy Thanos glimpse, maybe not throughout the whole movie, but show us a glimpse of a universe where Thanos is a good guy. That's a great idea. They might do it. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, without seeing much of Multiverse of Madness, not a lot of news about it, haven't seen any trailers recently or at all about it. So we don't know what that fully entails. We're just speculating. And they've given us so many multiverse stuff, WandaVision, the Loki show, that there's a million different possibilities of what could actually be in that movie. But What If has been such an enjoyable ride, and I can't wait to see what next week's episode entails.
I agree.
Like I said a couple minutes ago, this fall is going to be huge. So many good stuff. And what if is like 24 episodes, right? We're only episode 2.
Something like that. I'm not completely sure, to be honest.
So if it's like, let's say it's 20, and there's 4 weeks in a month, it releases 1 week, that's, what is that, 5 months?
Don't ask me, bro. I had 2 math teachers. 1 class.
So, that's what we got for you guys today. Craig, tell them where we can find you.
You can find me at Instagram, Craig.Shukri. That's SHUKRI. And you can also find me on the Collector Showcase YouTube.
Yeah. If you're all into Pokemon cards, trading cards, nerd collectibles at all, go follow the Collector Showcase. You'll get all the top news, info, and rare pulls. You guys just pulled the VMAX, didn't you? VMAX Charizard?
The Charizard, yeah, from Shiny Fates.
Let's go, boys. So, thanks so much for hanging out, guys. Thanks for subscribing to the channel, liking the video, and sharing it with your friends. We'll see you next week.